Well, in a very simple sentence, the Caretaker Committee means a formal authentication of a brazen illegality by various state governments in total disobedience to the wordings of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Because our Constitution says that a system of local government by democratically elected council is guaranteed by this Constitution. The Constitution never for one moment contemplates this local government by caretaker committee arrangement. So the caretaker committee arrangement is what I've just described to you, a brazen attempt to validate a breach of our Constitution by those who are sworn to defend it.
Okay, remember that you can actually join the conversation simply by raising up your digital hand. Now, you just explained this as an illegality.
Yes, hello?
Yes, I can hear you. Did you hear my question?
I didn't.
I said you just explained the caretaker committee as an illegality. Why then do you think state governments partake in this illegality?
Well, it's simple. Money, control, greed, and avarice. I have sat down with most of the governors who have continued this perfidious act and found out that it's just their simple belief that no other person is qualified to handle the money according to the local government other than themselves. There was really no justification why they could not hold elections, because most of the governors in Anambra State had in situ local government service commission, and they have in situ Anambra State Independent Electoral Commission. So you cannot say that they don't have the framework through which they can organize election. So the only plausible explanation is that they want to control and use the money that comes to the local government by themselves.
Okay, so the Commissioner for Information, Sidon Adenuba, once said that the states have failed to conduct local government elections because of the court proceedings. Do you think this is a valid reason for caretaker committees?
Which court proceedings? Tell Sidon that he is trying to use his oratorical powers to hoodwink the masses. I was one of those that got judgment in the local government election of 2013. I got a judgment in the election tribunal nullifying the election into the Ihiala Local Government Council. The election court gave an order that there should be election between my client, Honorable Golden Ilo, and one Awogosi, who purportedly was returned as elected. But we were able to prove at the tribunal that no election took place. The state government, instead of doing the needful by conducting another election between my client and an Awogosi, decided to go on appeal, which is within their right. They went on appeal to Anambra State High Court, sitting at Elombah, because it was during the vacation. The High Court of Anambra State, presided over by Honorable Justice Peter Obiora, in a well-considered judgment, upheld the judgment of the election tribunal and said that no election took place in Ihiala local government, and therefore, Anambra State Independent Electoral Commission should conduct a fresh election between the candidate of the PDP, which is Honorable Godin Ilo, and Awugosi, and the rest of the candidates who are qualified to contest that election. Instead of the government accepting this judgment and going ahead to do the needful, knowing fully well that the Anambra State High Court, sitting as an appellate court, is the final court for election into local government council, decided to appeal to the Court of Appeal. We went to Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal sitting in Enugu dismissed the appeal for lack of merit and really upbraided the council for bringing that type of appeal before them. The government, instead of taking the cue, decided to make sure that they frustrate the judgment creditor, that is my client, Honorable Godin Ilo, by conducting a fresh election, decided and appealed again to the Supreme Court. Remember, they have no case at the lower court, that is the Court of Appeal. But in total breach of every ethics in legal profession, senior counsels went ahead to appeal to Supreme Court. But luckily, by the time the appeal was listed and ripe for hearing, and I filed in my application for the dismissal of the appeal, and then for the appeal for the Supreme Court to now bring the lawyers to book, they hurriedly withdrew the appeal, but yet the government did not conduct the by-election as ordered by the tribunal. So as I'm talking to you today, the only judgment subsisting against the Anambra State government is that of Ihiala. There are 21 local governments in Anambra State. They can as well conduct the election in Ihiala with Godin Ilo as the candidate of PDP and others, and then go ahead and do the new election for the other local governments, because their own elections were not challenged. So Adenuba is telling a monumental lie when he come on a national television to tell you that court order is stopping them from holding election. Tell him that I said there was no court order stopping them from holding election. They refused to hold election in Ihiala in defiance of a court order.
Okay, considering this is an illegality, like you said, why do you think the court has not done anything to checkmate these excesses of the state government?
Do you know how the courts operate?
You have to bring a case before.
Do you know who is the chief law officer in any given state?
I do. But the judiciary arm of government is supposed to serve as a check and balance for.
We're not talking about judiciary now. You see, the judiciary is a separate arm of government. But for you to activate the coercive power of the court and the government, you have to go back to the executive arm. And the person who will activate that coercive arm is the learned Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice. He is the person who is in charge of the processes that will bring the government to book where they are infringing the rights of the court. But I'm yet to see the Attorney General who have the balls or the courage to take on their governors in this flagrant disobedience of court orders. So the only reason is that they are pushing our people. They are pushing the people to the wall. You know, Nigerians have tested freedom with NSAS. One of these days, people will now believe that there is no need going to court. That the best way to deal with this government is by arranging themselves in an organized mob and really deal with the government in the language they will understand. That is where that's where we're heading to.
Okay, so does that mean that where the government fails to obey a lawful court order, the people are powerless to call the government to order?
Well, if the government, which is represented by the court, remember that when you talk about government, you are talking about the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. When the government itself is refused to do that which the government is supposed to do, how will the poor man in the street, how will he react? Will he go and arrest the governor? Or will he go and now enter the office and said, I am the duly elected person, I am the person who is supposed to take benefit of this court order, and the government has refused to obey it, therefore, I will now want to assume the office. In the first place, that person, when he gets in there, the type of beating he will receive from the law enforcement agents, you will better imagine than saying. So the government itself, they are pushing the people to the wall. They are not creating for any honorable exit path for the people to follow. My late political master, late Senator Edwin Onwudi, says, one of the most grievous offense of political leaders is when they refuse to create an honorable exit path for their opponents. When people are pushed to the wall and there is no honorable escape route, they will only come out fighting. The way and manner the various state governments in Nigeria, I'm not talking only of Anambra State, almost all the local governments in Nigeria are being run by caretaker committees. One day very soon, you will see that what I am predicting here, there will be total breakdown of law and order when people will say, enough, no more.
So you're saying that there is no legal way that the people can protest, except if they have to organize themselves in your words, in an organized mob and protest. Is that the only way that people can hold government accountable? I'm sorry, did you get my question?
I said, I got your question. He said there is no other legal way for the people to now protest, except organizing themselves. I told you that the election tribunal gave an order in Anambra State. The state government refused to obey it. The High Court repeated the same order. The state government refused to obey it. The Court of Appeal repeated the same order by implication. The state government refused to obey it. The Supreme Court finally put a nail to it. The state government refused to obey it. If they are going to obey it, maybe it is tomorrow. So what else do you want the people to do except self-help?
Okay, so what about the State House of Assembly? Can the State House of Assembly do anything to the government?
The State House of Assembly?
Yes, State House of Assembly.
The State House of Assembly is one institution that has all the powers vested on them by the Constitution, but have decided willingly to abandon it to the whims and caprices of the governors. I am yet to see a State House of Assembly live up to the powers given to them by the Constitution.
Okay, initially I saw Mr. Innocent's hand up. Mr. Innocent, do you want to say something? I saw your digital hand up. If you want to contribute to the discussion, or I should move on. Okay,
you can move on at the moment, anyway.
Okay, so I'm just going to call on...
because I was not catching up with what he was saying as well.
Okay, so let's talk to Mr. Emeka. Mr. Emeka? Mr. Emeka, I can see your hand up.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good
Please go
evening.
ahead. Good evening. Please go ahead. I can hear you. Okay, Mr. Emeka, I don't know. You're not speaking. Okay, Mr. Emeka, we'll come back to you later. Prince Isaac. Prince Isaac, the platform is yours. If not, I'll move on with my questions. Prince Isaac.
Okay. Okay, please. Good evening, everybody. Can you hear me, please, the host?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah. Okay. I want to say a special good evening to Chief Okey.
Thank you. Good evening, my brother.
Honestly, well, I am the present chairman of Allied People's Movement APM in Anambra. I was 2 times chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council IPAC in Anambra. Indeed, it is painful to discuss about non-conduct of local government election in Anambra. All the governments of Apoga, right from the time of His Excellency Mr. Peter B, who attempted to conduct the election at the end of his administration.
It started with us in PDP.
Yes, yeah,
it started with us in PDP. It's not only Abga.
So I understand. So I think that it is as a result of greed, avarice, lack of connection with the people, lack of the political will to give the people representation, to allow the people take part in the governing process. It's an aberration in law. I led a protest against this current state government. I was blackmailed. I was called all sorts of names that I am attacking Anambra State. I'm SS calling me, giving me several invitations. Where am I attacking the government? I say, one, why is it that ours is always a different case? Don't we deserve in a participatory government? All over the world, even in advanced democracies, people are allowed to take part in the process of governance. Grassroots democracy is the basics of our democratic practice. And once a government is not willing to allow the people living at the grassroots to take part in the process, it is a complete denial of the people in the process of government that determines their future. It is painful. At a time, I decided to keep quiet. Our political elites are also guilty of, because once you are silent in a situation that is very, very ugly, a situation that is affecting you, affecting the voiceless ones, affecting the entire polity, your silence appears or shows to be you are supporting the government. You are simply telling the government, go ahead. We are part of what you are doing.
Oh, yes.
I took statistics. Of all the federal allocation to Anambra from 2006. It was shocking that, for instance, I'm from Oruba South. Before now, if not because of this dwindling of federal allocation, and Oruba South do make close to 180 million every single month. If you come to Oruba South, there is no one single local road, built in the whole of Oruba South since the creation of Anambra State today. That is one a typical example. Orumba South, in Umunze, precisely. No single road built by either the state government or the local government, either intra-village, within the village. It's only the one that is built, that was built by Ngige, that went through Imo State, a part went to Imo State, the other one went to Abia. This is a local government that receives 180 million every single month. You see, the issue, this thing is honestly for some of us, it is a shame. Chief Okey, I know that you were once a very strong voice in this government. You know, sometimes I also, when I see some of you, if not because I'm a man of God, I would love to fight some of you. Because you are not happy today. But I know that when you had the opportunity to be in that place, I don't know what you did. I was not privileged to have followed your involvement and the records that you had in your time. But I know, okay, it's a shame. No, that one of Anambra, there's no Anambra person that is happy today. No local government election, and yet money is coming. Nobody is talking to this government. Nobody is talking to him. We have federal house members. We have senators. The host was asking about the House of Assembly. Which House of Assembly are you talking about? Do we have House of Assembly?
Thank you so much, Mr. Prince Isaac. Thank you so much. Your emotions
don't even go there. Don't
are.
even go there. We don't have House of Assembly. We have
Mr. Prince
a bunch of hypocrites who are just piled up there to be, servicing the government. So
thank you so much, Prince Isaac. Yes, I understand where emotions are coming from, but please remember it's a public forum, so you have to keep emotions in check.
We also have to be very honest ourselves.
Yes, we do. I'm going to call on the next person now. Elder Tango. I can see your hand up. Elder Tango, if you're not ready, I'm going to move on to the next person. The previous participants did not ask the direct questions, Chief Okey. So
hello.
Yes, I can hear you, Elder Tango.
And you mute me. So
I'm sorry about that.
Okay. Thank you for having me. Mr. Okey, the man, Prince Isaac is talking now. He's saying the right thing. It's good to call a spade a spade. All the parties in Anambra, as for today, even PDP have no moral to come and tell Anambra good government. Opoga have failed. Most of these parties have failed because most of them are not elected. They are selected, appointed. That's the problem. Because of security vote, federal might, instead of using the federal money to do the job for the people, for the people they are governing. They use the money to settle people in federal, settle party, settle everything. The remaining amount goes for them. People are complaining. It's true because what Mr. Okey is saying now. I know he was in government, but now he's complaining. So it's what I said in last program. When people are comfortable, they don't see any error. But once they miss the chance, they will see everything. So what?
Maybe you came from the moon.
Wait, let me come.
Yes, if you're in Anambra when I was in government, you won't be saying that.
Chief Okey, kindly be patient. I'll give you the opportunity to react to his comments.
If he cannot take critics or anything, because now you come for public, you're not in your house. If you cannot listen to people talking to you, then we better allow
Elder Tango, it's normal for a guest to respond immediately.
He said I come from the moon.
Yeah,
precisely.
It's okay. Allow him to
say something. After I say you can only redress me than interrupt me. You can only redress me.
Elder Tango, please go ahead. Okay, go ahead with what you were saying.
So most of the problem we have. All the local government caretaker are appointed, they're not elected. So nobody ever account for all the security vote, all the money that came into the state, not only Anambra, not where. So the problem we have is a real reshuffling. I've been saying everything. The corruption is from federal. Federal might is destroying everything, down to the state, down to local government. Even a governor cannot fight corruption because without local government, who even Governor Obiano wasn't a politician, but he was calling and saying he must be a governor, and he became governor. He became governor. So when we want to talk, we say the truth. I'm not being personal to you, to anybody. Even my town never benefited one thing from PDP for their 8 years now. No road, nothing, no program in my town. So everybody is complaining. The only thing we will say now, how can we have an honest change? Honest change, because history, a system that hates history will never change. There's many names that we call in PDP. The Mayhem PDP created in Anambra, a lot of things that happened. All is history. They don't tell people, don't talk. Gone are the days, they say people don't say anything, don't talk anything. People will talk. Last time, one Oba was here. I confronted him, telling him the truth. He gave his own reason. He denied all allegation in this Elombah platform. We asked him to. And the man was a gentleman. He patient. We even get it hot with him. He patient. And after, he analyzed everything. So my brother, Chief Okey, Aroh, what I'm saying is that we all must campaign for that change if we really want it. And it will be in good faith. For now, everything is not working well. Even a blind man will see it. So thank you. Moderator, continue. Hello, moderator.
Thank you so much, Chief Okey. You can react to what he said.
Well, is it my reaction stems from the fact that many a time when we are in the public fora, we all go into generalities. When you listen to me start my listing, when the other man was speaking and was trying to hold the APGA people by the jugular, I said no. That even PDP was also guilty of not conducting local government election. I was part and parcel of the PDP government from the beginning. I was an elected local government chairman under PDP. And it took me and most of my colleagues the better part of our tenure to pull down a PDP government. It was under my leadership as the chairman of all the chairmen that we said what Mpadudu was doing in Anambra State was wrong. That there must be accountability. Unfortunately, the people of Anambra State didn't listen to us. Chris Ngige came with a messianic approach. All sorts of stories were told to people. Oh yes, I was an advisor to Chris Ngige. Despite every good thing Ngige did in terms of trying to set up the framework for infrastructural development, I faulted Ngige when he refused to conduct the local government election. And I told him, I said, Your Excellency, what of the day after tomorrow? Because the rains will wash away the roads someday. Some of this infrastructure will become dilapidated. But what you do in sustenance of democracy and governance is eternal in the minds of the people. Let us conduct a local government election and be done with it. We were dilly-dallying for 3 years until P2B went to court and removed us. Okay? We came back to Peter was there for 80 years. It was when he was leaving in 2013 that he did the local government election that I was complaining about. So as far as I'm concerned, what I was trying to tell the young man is that it is not everybody that is keeping quiet. I have spoken as an activist. I have carried placard as a politician. I had also did my little bit as a lawyer. Hello?
Here you, sir. Please go on.
Yes. I said, I had also done my bit as a lawyer, fighting a local government election case from tribunal to the Supreme Court. I don't think I will have to go and kill myself because I want to be seen as an activist or somebody who has a voice. No. And I don't grandstand. My take is that the people of Anambra State and Nigeria must own up this project and tell whoever that becomes the governor. And we have to start it with the civil servants. Don't make the mistake about it. The governors come and the governors go. The civil servants stay. When you are in government, when you're in politics, the civil servant look at you and say, don't worry, the maximum you can stay here is 4 years. After that, you go and we continue what we are doing. So the biggest problem we have today is that the mandarins in the civil service do not want the local government elections to be held because it is easy for them. Because when they bring you as a caretaker committee chairman, you don't have the full and amplitude of the powers of a local government council chairman. So those who are running the administration will be the officers of the council who are as appointed as you are, but they have a tenured appointment. Your own appointment is at the whims and caprice of the governor. So if you really want to be honest, the people who don't want local government election in Nigeria, and in particular in Anambra State, are the local government, are the civil servants. They don't want it. When the governor comes, they will go there and show the governor the books. My friend there, Prince Isaac, said that he has done the calculation. Oh yes, when you do the calculation, you cry. He didn't really know where I come from. When I was a local government chairman, we were having about 30 million naira. But when we went back to revenue mobilization and brought all the indices into place, today, Idemili not local government earns more money than every other local government in the Southeast. Every single month, Idemili not local government has more than 300 million naira accrued to it from Federation account. When you aggregate Idemili North, Idemili South, Orumba North and South, Agwata, Oyi, Ayamelum, Anambra East and West, Onitsha North and South, Ihiala, Ekusigo, Dunukofia, and the rest of them, you will be talking about humongous amount of money. And these governors and their civil servants don't want you to be part of it. It is not, we can, from here to Jerusalem, grandstand, but we have to find a way to think out of the box, to know how to rein in the local government people, that is the local government civil servants, and their counterparts in the state bureaucracy, because they are the people who direct the governor on what they did.
Okay, so can you speak about the rumors saying that the state governments are using this caretaker committee as a means to fund elections?
You see, the funding of election is neither here nor there. They are just using the caretaker committee to siphon the money. The biggest problem we have in this country is that nobody seems to hold anybody to account. Because if the EFCC and the ICPC have taken tabs of, for instance, calling the chairman of Idemili North local government and said, in 36 months, you've been appointed a caretaker committee chairman. You've stayed there for 3 years. Multiply 3 years with 300 million and come and tell us how this money has been spent. The story will be different. Because when this money is allocated under the guise of what they call JAC, Joint Accounts Committee, they will share the money and take some funny vouchers to the local government and ask them to sign. They take the vouchers to the local government council and ask them to sign. Once they give them their overhead expenses, the only thing they'll now do is to sign off that this money has been spent. I am inviting the EFCC, ICPC, to swoop on the council officers, the appointed chairmen, and their workers to give account of the money that was sent to them. As a local government chairman, I was audited 14 times. The auditors who audited me, the auditor generals, are still alive today in Anambra State. If I am telling lies, they will come out in public domain and debate me. Today, the office of the auditor general for local government has become moribund. They cannot do anything because they are now just the department in the deputy governor's office. Nobody looks anywhere in the local government account system. They just sit down there at the end of every month. The people from Jack will come down, give them a sheet of paper, they will sign off. And the money they signed off, there is nowhere they can match it with the projects on ground. So for now, there must be mass action if we want a result.
Okay, let's call the next person, Mr. Innocent Aroh. Mr. Innocent, your hand is up. Please kindly keep your comments or questions to just a minute because we are almost out of time and we have to let our guests go in less than 12 minutes. Mr. Innocent.
All right, yeah, I've muted myself. All right, good evening, Mr. Barrister Okey.
Thank you.
Yeah, Nigeria as a whole has been already, for me, I know that they have failed since 1999. Nigeria is failed totally in every action, in every angle. And Nigeria have totally break down on law and order. They don't follow the rule and law of anything. And two, they are not giving information to their citizens. That is the most difficult area where I would say that in that area, we cannot achieve anything in our country. Anambra State, I've worked in Anambra State. I studied in Nigeria, worked in Nigeria as an electrical engineer. Nothing is working, both everywhere. I've worked with P2B as well. And when you see what is happening in our government, you see that the people that we put in place to lead us have no idea of leadership. You see, I'm sorry.
Mr. Innocent, Mr. Innocent, kindly go to the question. We are almost out of time.
You're saying question?
Or comment. If it's just a comment, kindly keep it to the comment section and let's take questions, please. We have to let our guests go as soon as possible.
Oh, all right. But you could have given me some moment because what we are saying here and what I've already concluded in what we are saying here is that Nigeria is not working, and we even Anambra State governmental election that is coming on now, what we need to do is to inform the masses and make sure that we organize people in order so that we can get a good result, not by leaving people uninformed, you see, because the way we Nigerians are doing things is not the right way. So we need the right way, and for us to get that right way done, what we need to do is to make sure that we inform everybody in our state to come out to use electronic means, even when they are voting, to use their cameras everywhere to make sure we get them stampede, because those people are evil and they don't want to leave the area for the young people and for people who have that intelligence or competency to rule the state.
Thank you so much, Mr. Innocent. Thank you so much. Prince Isaac, your hand is up next. Please kindly remember that if it's just a comment, keep it to the comment section. Let's take questions.
Very snappy,
we'll
very snappy. Sure.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
so
very snappy. I think that I agree with my brother to some extent, innocent. But I want to disagree that it is the problem of the federal government. The federal government judiciously pays allocation to every state. There has never been a time federal government denied Anambra the allocation. So to that effect, it is bad leadership as a result of avarice and wickedness. Chief Okey has said it all. The reason why they don't want to conduct local government election, they want to lay hand on the money and use it for private uses, not for the benefit of the common man. You bring 180 million that is meant for local government. You can't transition because it's under appointment. It doesn't have the legitimacy of the people, the mandate of the people to remain to be local government chairman. So he's under the orders of the governor. The governor, they will call him, you sign 10 million naira for estimates and salaries. And then the state government goes for 170 million. Meanwhile, if you look at the signature, what they sell is 180 million. That is why in every local government, no development. So it is not a case of federal government. It is our own failure. I think that what we need to do now in 2021 election, we must get it right by electing people that have conscience, by electing people that have the fear of God, people who know that at the end of this life, they will give account to the God Almighty. They will know that people are suffering. People who will be entrusted, with the people's money and know that this money is meant for the service of humanity. They will use it for that purpose. Building of roads.
Thank you so much.
Social infrastructure and the rest of it. Then when you elect
Prince Isaac,
criminals, they will end up enriching themselves, buying houses all over the world with the commonwealth of the people. So it's a big error.
Thank you so much, Prince Isaac. Let us listen to Elombah is the APC Publicity Secretary for Anambra State. So let's listen to him. His hand is up. Okelo.
Yeah, thank you, Neka. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Let me apologize. I will not be very clear on video. I'm not yet indoors. But I needed to stop and be part of this because it's a very important topic. Without knowing it, it is the single biggest contributor to poverty in Anambra State. In the sense that rather than run 22 elected governments with their legislature and executive, we are running only one government without competition. Now, enough has been said about the motive for continuing in caretaker when we can as well elect according to the Constitution. I don't like blankets, so I want to classify it or stratify, if you want, to record the progress we've made already. Now, in summary, in this Fourth Republic, we have 22 years of democracy, if I'm right, 22 years of democracy. Out of that 22 years of democracy, we've had only 2 years of democracy in the local governments in Anambra State. That was between 2014 and 2016. So that is the natural boundary between the first phase and the second phase. That 2 years reign is the result of a struggle and pressure of the entire political class without necessarily going into partisanship that made P2B do the election at the point of his exit with an eye on history.
I was part of the struggle.
Okay, fine. Now, so from that moment, one could say that I wouldn't need to go back to the yesteryears. So what happened when the tenure expired? Why will the government of the day not continue the election and have people replaced at the end of their tenure with their complete legislation? That's why I do not believe in the generalizations. I believe that we should hold the ABGA government controlled by Obiano completely responsible. That is why the APC went to court and carried the litigation through, one at the first level, lost at the second level, and is now in the Supreme Court. But beyond that, Anambra alone was not the one that went to court. Enugu went to court. And in May, on May 7 precisely, the Supreme Court ruled that the Caretaker Committee is illegal. And that is a law which applies around Nigeria. So when we make it sound as if we are not yet near to our target, then we're making the issue distant. We are at that point where the Supreme Court has said, dismantle this. So the question we should ask is, why is it not dismantled in Anambra State? And if the political class and the lawyers amongst us are there, why are they leaving it to and praying to elect a good person when the good person will have his eyes on the good money again? Now, these things are not as sentimental as we make it sound. Now, to get a consequential order to ask the local government to vacate, to avoid anarchy, is not a very difficult thing for the political class. But I think that there are people who benefit across board. Even outside the ruling party, there are people who nominate caretaker people and nominate people they pretensively call councillors. So this is one area we need to arrest. And once we arrest it, the deal is done. But I want to thank you for making this a very big election issue. But I'm not saying we wait until we get another person who has a benevolent spirit to come and give us election as a donation. It is a law, and the Supreme Court has given the order. So somebody is violating it, and that's where we should approach it from.
Thank you so much, Okey Elombah. Let us listen to Sir Chris Chikwelu. Sir Chris Chikwelu is going to be our last commenter for today. We have to let the guests go by 8 o'clock sharp. Mr. Innocent, kindly keep your comments at the comment session. Sir Chris, I have asked you to unmute. The platform is yours.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear
Hello?
you. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good evening.
Sir Chris, please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
We can. Go
first
ahead,
of all, I want to also apologize for the poor video anyway, because I have to stop by the side and follow up. First of all, I want to thank you, the co-host and the host and the guest for today, Honorable Barrister Okey Aroh, for giving the topic a very good jig. One, the problem we have in our country is about making our policies without implementation. Before this time, a few months ago, people were jubilating up and down that the local government system had been overhauled, that presently that the account of the local government system will be credited direct to the local government account. After that jubilation, now the question people need to ask, is that thing implementable? Because up to today, I don't want to go into the past. Up to today, I want to look at the present. If you check the local government system of many states in Nigeria today, some of them, yes, the money comes direct to their corpus. But because of that, the system we are running, the caretaker system, most of the caretaker chairmen cannot have that mind for them to now spend the money that is meant for the entire citizenry of that local government the way it's supposed to be. They will now either one way or the other retire back to the state government, and they continue like that. Now, coming to the other area, after the tenure of the first elected local government system we had in this dispensation from 1999 to 2002, of which the host was one of them, when their tenure expired in 2002, there was clamor for another election. At a time, I remember then the president of our country, Olusegun Obasanjo, issued out an order that the local government system need to be overhauled. Now in 2004, there was a kind of, how do I put it, a meeting that was called, a mini conference that was called on that. At the end of the conference from 2004 till today is 17 years. We have not been able to profile a solution that will strengthen our local government system. And people are looking at it as if it is not a tier of government. If you check in our country today, how many levels of government do we have? Is that one actually functioning? So what I'm trying to say is that the society, the people, leaders at all levels need to bury their individual differences so that we can make that local government system actually the top tier of local government, which it is. Rather than getting into the background, money is coming every day, and people are wasting that very money meant for grassroots development, putting it in various pockets for either one thing or the other. So, and another thing, if you look at the elections in the local government system, in as much as, yes, there are some states who claim that they have held the elections. If you go to those states, you ask yourself, was that election or an appointment? in a situation whereby people will stay one place, write the results of the entire councillors and chairmen that are supposed to go for that election in a parlor and announce that they have held election. So what I'm trying to suggest is that if we want the local government system to be in order, first of all, we need to send a legislation to now stripe the various state governments the power to conduct an election in the local government system and give it back to Independent National Electoral Commission. If I believe today that if INEC reserved that authority as it was in 1998, December 5th, when they conducted the first election, if there are people that are still conducting election in our local government system today, I think our local government system would be better. Hello?
Thank you so much. Let us allow the guests, we can hear you. Thank you so much. Let us allow the guests to react to all these comments and reactions. Chief Okey? Chief Okey?
Yeah,
we're back to you. So now that you've heard the comments and I don't know, I don't think there was any question here. What can interested stakeholders do to checkmate the government and hold them accountable, especially in relation to local government elections?
Well, it's a very simple thing. Where there is a will, there must be a way. One of the speakers did make a suggestion. I think it was Elombah. Okey said, we must have to come together, irrespective of our political leanings, to wrestle with this situation and take it up. When I led the Anambra People's Forum to fight for good governance in Anambra State, it does not matter to me that the governor that we were quarreling with was a PDP governor. For me today, the generality of people of Anambra State must be able to come together with one voice and say, we want the government election. And like Chris Chekwe said, if we are going to have an election, it must be election properly so called, where the umpire conducting the election will be guaranteed its independence so that the election will be fair, credible, and transparent. And secondly, the tenure of the local government must be something to what is while. It is a caricature to elect people and say, we elected the local government chairman for 2 years. In some other states, it's 3 years. In some places, 4. Why can't we have a uniform local government system in Nigeria, where at least the minimum number of years will be 3 years, so that you can hold people accountable for the program which they placed on the table while they were campaigning for election? So I believe that the people of Nigeria, the masses of Nigeria, including me, but I'm afraid to say it, I'm getting old. When my people say it, I have been on this terrain, I have been on this political thing for the past 35, 40 years. As a matter of fact, I started politics before I entered university in 1978. By age, I have reached retirement age. By length of service, I've reached retirement age. I think it is now for me to see those we can encourage to go ahead. I can lend my legal expertise in whatever fight there should be to get the government to do what is needful. But as for going on the street again with placard, I no go agree, I no go agree, I think my children will tell me, Daddy, you have passed this stage. But I can tell you, it is really very painful to me that despite all the high hopes we had in 1998, when we were the first crop of elected chairman in this republic, up to today, we have not seen anything to justify that hope. It is sad, but I have hope that we may get it right with your generation. Augusta, you should do something.